Have you ever noticed that your body feels tense even when you've been somewhere you're supposed to feel relaxed, like on vacation or sitting on the couch, or finally having just a quiet moment to yourself, and your body still feels tense and on edge? Maybe your stomach starts to feel tight or icky. Maybe your heart is beating a little faster, or you feel shaky for no obvious reason, and you find yourself thinking, why can't I just relax? And maybe things even feel technically fine, but your body still feels like it's bracing for something. If you've ever thought, I just should be relaxing, why can't I? You're not alone. So today, I want to talk about how to recognize when your nervous system is stuck in that protection mode. In my last couple videos, we talked about something really important, and that's that your brain doesn't know the difference between a real emergency and a ton of unread text messages. Almost getting run off the road or watching a super high energy car chase on TV. Your nervous system reacts to perceived threat, not just actual real danger. And once that system gets used to protecting you, it can stay switched on for longer than you want. So today, I want to help you recognize what that actually feels like in your body. And I'll also give you a somatic technique that's different from the previous video on how to calm your nervous system that will help you calm your nervous system. So some signs you might notice if your nervous system has been living in protection mode include things like feeling on edge when nothing obvious is wrong. You're maybe having difficulty relaxing. Even when you finally have time, your body is maybe scanning for symptoms or sensations. You're still feeling exhausted. And somehow you feel wired, and maybe you're more sensitive to things like noise or food or stimulation going on, or your body is reacting strongly to everyday stress, like lots of emails or kids arguing. And when people experience this, they often think that something's wrong with them, but very often your nervous system is just trying to keep you safe because that's what it thinks it should be doing. So I actually noticed this really clearly on a recent vacation. I was at the beach, which sounds ironic, right? But there was a beautiful ocean, there was warm sand and sunshine. I had my Emily Henry book. It was a kind of setting that's supposed to make you instantly relax, but my body wasn't relaxing. I felt almost like shaky, like there was a shakiness. My stomach started getting like kind of irritated and icky. And then there was a part of me that was thinking, what is wrong with me right now? I'm literally at the beach. And then of course that made me feel angry. But because I understand the nervous system, I realized something important is that I knew my brain had been carrying a lot of stress leading up to that trip, especially if you're either taking kids with you or you're leaving them with a caregiver. You have a lot to prep and plan. And even though that environment had changed, my nervous system hadn't caught up quite yet. So my body was still reacting as if it needed to stay on that high alert, which makes sense, but still totally annoying, right? So once I recognized this and just even acknowledged that, things started to make a little more sense. It took the ease off of it. But your nervous system, when it's been in protection mode for a long time, it gets really good at detecting potential danger, almost too good. It's like a smoke alarm that comes very sensitive, and eventually that smoke alarm starts going off every time you use a candle in the house, which would be bad because I love my candles. So your body isn't malfunctioning. It's trying to prevent problems before they happen. But then the side effect, of course, is that the system becomes overprotective. One of the most important things to understand about the nervous system, though, is that you can't think, we talked about this previously, your way out of protection mode. You can logically know that you're safe. You can tell yourself to relax a lot. You can even be sitting in a beautiful place on vacay, and your body still does not get the memo. But because the nervous system listens more closely to sensation than it does logic, we can use a somatic reset to help our body understand to relax, rather than trying to keep telling it, just relax, just relax, just relax, because that doesn't really get us that far, does it? And if you remember in my previous video on why your body reacts to everything, I talked about what somatic movement is and gave a little technique, the self-hug, because the nervous system listens more closely to sensation than it does logic. So I want to show you another somatic, meaning the body, sensation to the body, another somatic technique you can use to help your nervous system shift out of that protection mode that's always trying to protect you and be on high alert, like the sensitive smoke alarm. We're going to use a form of soothing touch, which is sometimes used in something called havening. Somatic techniques work through the body first, because when the body experiences safety, the brain then begins to update its signal. So we sometimes refer to this as a bottom-up technique, because the body is informing your mind of something rather than your thoughts trying to inform your body. So here's what you do. It's super easy, super simple. Take your hands and just gently place them on your upper arms. And then you're just gonna slowly guide your hands down your arms toward your elbow and back up, just rubbing like this. You've probably seen kids do this from time to time, slowly, gently. Almost like you're smoothing your sleeves. Let your shoulders soften a little. Take a slow, deep breath. Just breathing. And you know that when you apply slow pressure, soothing touch like this, you're activating pressure receptors in the skin. And those receptors are actually sending those calming signals through the nervous system. And that signal travels through the pathways connected to the vagus nerve, which helps you shift the body out of protection mode. So instead of trying to force yourself to calm down and say, just calm down, when you're on the beach or wherever it is, if you're sitting on the couch, maybe you're in the car, you're giving your nervous system the physical experience of safety, that sensation, which is something the brain, and thus your nervous system, understands much more quickly. So remember, the goal here isn't perfection, it's repetition. Small signals of safety throughout the day. Moments where your body learns, I don't have to be on high alert right now. I am safe. I am not in danger. And over time, these signals start to change your baseline. So you have a more regulated baseline. So everyday stress doesn't feel quite as overwhelming. And your body is learning one signal at a time. If you've been noticing some of these signs in yourself, it doesn't mean something is wrong with you. It often means your nervous system has just been working very hard to protect you, to do what it thinks it needs to do, right? And nervous systems can absolutely learn safety again, one small experience at a time. If you'd like help practicing this, you probably already know this, but I created a free guided audio that walks your nervous system through a gentle reset. You can listen to it over and over again. You don't need to, but listen to it even once a day would be super helpful for your nervous system. And if you missed my previous video explaining why stress becomes physical symptoms, I recommend watching that one next, because it helps with everything we talked about today and make even more sense. And remember, you already have the ability within you, within your nervous system and your brain, to rewire for healing. You already have that ability within you. Find the link for that calming audio below.